Hi, I'm Gary White for Channel 6, Central Kentucky Television. I'm here with Luke Freese at the Nelson County Extension Office. And today, we're continuing to cook through the calendar. This is our July recipe, right?
We made it to July.
That's right. We're in the second half of the year.
Yeah, we're on the home stretch, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe things will get better from here. So,
yes.
It'll start with the summer garden pie.
Exactly.
That's how we'll make it a little bit better today.
That's right. And today, that's what we're going to make, summer garden pie.
Yes.
That's our July recipe. So if you don't already have a calendar is still available, and you can get them from the Extension Office. You can look back at our videos and do all the ones prior, and then you can get your calendar, follow the recipe, and make this one with us now.
Absolutely. And, we try to post each one. I know Central Kentucky Television posts them on YouTube, and then we try to share them on our Facebook page. So if you missed one, don't know where to find it, you can find it in either location.
That's right.
The Nutrition Education Program, who actually produces this calendar at the University of Kentucky, they try to share some of our videos as well, so you can find them there. And then you can find the recipes online as well if you don't want to pick up a calendar. But we'd love to see you. Our foyer is still open, so we are doing mask policy. So if you come in, just wear a mask, and you can pick up whatever you need, and then you can follow along with us at home.
Great. And you can make this summer garden pie, which you have made in the past and says pretty good.
I have. It is. It's very good. I think this is one of the consensus favorites of people reviewing each recipe and saying, I like that one. My mom in Arkansas, if you're watching this video, she's always, I think I said something one time about how my mom chopped an onion improperly. And she watched the video and called me out and said, "Why did you got to call your mom out like that?" So we'll give her some positive vibes today.
Exactly.
And, yeah, she made this and she sent me a picture and it looked great. If you make these at home and you're following along with us, send us a picture on our Facebook page or via email, and we'll try to share that.
Absolutely.
We like to see what people are doing at home.
And the onion chopping skills will come in handy for this one, because there is onion in
That's right. I kind of did everything prior to, but we've covered everything from chopping vegetables to chopping onions to breaking eggs, and I thought today we'd give ourselves a break. No pun intended on the eggs, and I just cracked them already, so Gary doesn't have to do the knife
Absolutely.
and all that good stuff.
But speaking of, let's run through what the ingredients are for this.
Absolutely.
Okay, we're going to have a tablespoon of butter, which we have. We have a can of yellow corn drained.
Yes, and you can do fresh corn as well if you'd rather. I think it calls for 1.5 cups if you do fresh corn. You can do frozen as well. You'll just probably want to thaw it so you get all the water out.
We do have our half onion diced. So
and you can use yellow onion. I use white onion today. They have different flavors. You can go back and look at one of our Grow, Eat, Live series on our Facebook page, and we talk about all kinds of different things in the alliums family, the onion family. So leeks, shallots, onions. There's all kinds of things you could use. Today we're using white onions.
Okay. And then we have 2 medium zucchini ends removed and thinly sliced. So we have that. So zucchini is kind of our base of, the mushrooms too. You have a lot of mushrooms there too. And then 8 ounces of fresh mushrooms sliced. We have them, which is good. And we're going to have a tablespoon of dried basil, or 2 tablespoons of fresh chopped basil. And what should we have here? So I did
the fresh variety. I just love the smell of fresh basil, and so they had some at the store today, so I went ahead and got some fresh.
Okay, great. And then we have a teaspoon of dried oregano, a half teaspoon of salt, 8 ounces of shredded mozzarella cheese, which you can't go wrong with mozzarella.
No, more cheese the better, right?
Exactly. And 4 eggs beaten, which you haven't beaten yet, right? I haven't beaten them yet,
but I have cracked them. So
we do have 4 eggs.
We got 4 eggs in there. So right now is a great time to visit the farmer's market here in Bardstown, or if you are watching from a different location, state, whatever it is. If you have a farmer's market available to you, it's a great time to go and visit and get all those fresh foods. You can get sweet corn, you can get zucchini or yellow crooked neck squash, which you can also put in this recipe if you want to substitute. But we've got the skins on our zucchini here too. If you don't like the skins, you can take those off before you cut it. A lot of nutrients in the skin of these, so that's why I kind of like to leave them on.
It's like potato. That's the good part for you.
Yeah, that's the best part. And people don't like to eat the skins, and that's okay. You still get some nutrients, but a lot of the nutrients in vegetables and fruits are in the skin. So if you can't eat them, or you can push yourself to try, go ahead and do that. It's better for you. Just make sure you wash them before everything so you're not getting sick.
Exactly. So we start off by preheating the oven to 375 degrees.
Which we've got because we did the magic oven. We're going to put a tablespoon of butter in our pan, and I kind of had to turn it on. You're going to want to do this on a little bit of a high heat setting, just because we're trying to get all the water out very quickly, and then we don't want to brown our vegetables, but we do want them to kind of cook through so they're soft whenever we kind of cut into the casserole at the end, or the pie, I guess I should say.
Okay. So we're melting our butter in a large skillet over the heat.
Yep. And you want to just kind of, you can get it all the way around the pan. Now, if you don't have a large skillet like this, you could use a stock pot if you were in that situation. But there, as you can see, there are a lot of vegetables here, and so it gets tough to mix them up. You know, if you don't have enough room. You start flipping stuff all out of the pan, which I'll probably do later, so stay tuned.
Something to look forward to.
So we're going to go ahead and add our onions in there.
Okay.
And Gary, if you want to help me, we're going to add, I believe, the onions, the mushrooms, the zucchini, and the corn.
Okay.
So those are kind of our ingredients that we are going to saute. So you can go ahead and throw it in there. Just be careful. If you've got water in anything and you've got an oil or a fat like butter, sometimes it can splash up on you.
Okay.
So we got the corn in there, the onions.
Next we have our zucchini.
I had a big zucchini today. They had it calls for a medium-sized zucchini. And at the store today they had extra large and extra small. So I went with the bigger one, and then I just cut them in half. After I cut them in slices, I cut them in half, so they kind of look like a half moon shape. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but
yeah, that's good.
Sometimes it's just better, you don't have to cut it up when you eat it if they're in bite-sized pieces.
So we have our mushrooms. Are you ready?
Yep, ready.
Going to add the mushrooms in there. Oops,
Uh-oh.
making them all in there.
There's some trying to escape from us.
Staying in our bowl there. Okay.
All right. And during this time, we haven't had a whole lot of people in our office or in our kitchen, so we got some new kitchen equipment and some new bowls, which are nice.
I know, these are nice.
So
nice.
We're just looking forward to having people back in our office so they can use all the stuff.
Yeah. So we're just going to saute the vegetables here until they're tender, right?
Yes, and I believe it says about 5 minutes. So when we put this in the oven, you're going to cook this in the oven after we add the egg and all the ingredients and put it in the casserole dish. You're going to put this in the oven for about 25 minutes total. So it's going to soften these vegetables up. This is just kind of a precursor. So you know, a lot of people don't like the crunchy onions or vegetables to have that raw feel. So this is just kind of to soften everything up, heat it up a little bit to get it a head start when you put it in the oven. So you don't have to cook it all the way through. There's nothing in here that needs to reach a certain temperature to get all the bacteria. Pretty much all this stuff is ready to eat anyway. So you can cook it as long as you want.
It's really the zucchini that's the one that needs the most softening, I think, right?
Right, and you know, the water content is going to be really important, because if you leave too much water, all these vegetables are going to have a lot of water, especially the mushroom and the zucchini. So if you leave a lot of water left, you're going to have a kind of a watery garden pie. So you want to try to cook all the water out of them, and then we're going to strain them. We're going to drain the vegetables here in just a second, and just let them sit in there for like a minute or two while they're draining, so you just get all that water out, and then you'll have a nice consistency after you bake it.
Okay.
So
sauteing, that's kind of just like heating it and softening it.
Yeah, typically we saute in a skillet, and sauteing is over high heat for a short period of time, and usually involves some kind of fat, so an oil, a butter, something like that. So that's what we're doing here. We're sauteing, obviously boiling or something like that. That involves water and not the fat. But
I can see them softening up there, it looks like, too. with the zucchinis getting more.
And you can kind of see the water content as the. See, it seemed like a lot of mushrooms and a lot of stuff we put in there, but by the time it cooks down, it doesn't look like quite as much, especially the mushrooms.
Yeah.
So,
I think we just had, not last month we had our puff pancake, but the month before that we had mushrooms in that one as well, the lettuce wraps.
Yeah, mushrooms are got a lot of good vitamins and minerals, especially omega-3s and 6s. Mushrooms are a great thing to add to anything if you enjoy mushrooms. As a kid, I didn't like the texture of mushrooms, but I've grown to really, really like mushrooms, and they add a lot of flavor. They also soak up a lot of flavor. So, they might lose water, but any seasoning you put in a dish, the mushrooms will soak up all the flavor. So you can almost get the flavor of the dish just by tasting a mushroom.
And so, when we're doing these recipes on the side, they'll have things about making it a meal, but they also have an ingredient spotlight on this one.
Yeah.
And that is zucchini. And they say both yellow squash and zucchini squash are low in calories and high in vitamin C and A. Beta carotene is the form of vitamin A in zucchini. I need my glasses.
That's okay, yeah. I'm the same way. But beta carotene, as a kid, I used to take beta carotene supplements, and they're supposed to help with vision and that kind of thing. And you may take beta in your hair and nails. We always talk about hair and nails. A lot of things, a lot of fruits and vegetables help with hair and nails, but beta carotene is one that helps with your vision and eyesight. So.
Yeah, were your vitamins shaped like a Fred Flintstone? Or
oh yeah, we had gummies. But we also we bounced around. It kind of was.
Or Barney Rubble.
Yeah, whatever was available.
A zucchini is an antioxidant which helps protect cells from damage. It also promotes eye health. I need to eat more of this.
I was going to say, it was kind of ironic that we were talking about how you needed your glasses. But
it protects against certain cancers and heart disease.
All right.
Okay.
Perfect.
So that's draining.
So that's straining, draining. And so what we can do now is go ahead and do the egg mixture, which we're going to pour on top of it.
Okay.
And as you can see, I missed with some of my corn here, so we'll just kind of get that out of the way.
What I noticed was interesting when you put that in there, and I don't know if it could be seen, but you can see it slowly, it went down a little bit.
Yeah,
so the water, I guess.
And when we put it in the pan, you're going to be like, I can't believe that we put all that stuff in the saute pan, and that's all we have left. But it cooks down, and that water drains out. So, but Gary, if you want to, I know this is your favorite thing to do. It seems like every time Gary comes, we have him beating some eggs, but he's going to beat those 4 eggs, and obviously, you can get larger, smaller eggs at the grocery store. So I think it calls for 4 large eggs. Is that right, Gary?
Yep. Yes, it was 4 eggs beaten.
Okay, 4 eggs. So
and you can get eggs sometimes at farmers markets.
You can. You can. Right now, and I think that's what's really cool about this calendar, is generally it gives you ingredients that are in season for that month. So we're talking about fresh basil, herbs, those kinds of things you can find at the farmer's market. You can find it relatively inexpensive at the grocery store right now because they are in season. They can get it locally. Same with zucchini. If you're going to do the yellow squash, that's in season. You can find that. Sweet corn. The only thing that might be tough to find, and some farmers markets have, but they're regulated a little harder, is the mushrooms. So
look beaten enough?
Look great.
Okay.
All right, so now we're going to add, and you can read the steps if you'd like.
So in a medium bowl, we're going to stir together our basil, oregano, egg.
Yes. So
and cheese.
Basil.
Basil.
Oregano.
Our basil in here.
The salt. And we're going to put
basil, oregano, salt, and cheese.
Basil, oregano, salt, and cheese, and we're just going to mix that all together.
Yes.
I'll help you here.
Thanks.
Yeah, teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work, as they say.
Yeah. Okay, so now I'm mixing all that together.
Yep.
So I'm mixing together the basil, oregano, salt. Oh, and then we get our cheese.
Then we get the cheese, the best part.
Yes.
At least my favorite part. It's going to look like a lot of cheese, but
that's
good.
okay.
That's okay with me. All right, so as Gary's mixing that up, I'm just going to spray our 11 by 7 baking pan here. And if you want to do, I think in the calendar it has like a circular, maybe a 9-inch circular
Yeah, it is.
baking.
Circular one. That's okay.
So whatever you got, I used an 8 by 8 for my magic oven. It calls for an 11 by 7. But as long as you can fit all that in there, it's not going to rise up too much or spill out. So just as long as you can get around the right size. So Gary's got that mixed up, and it looks like our vegetables are pretty much all drained.
Okay.
You can see there's almost like a half a cup of liquid in there still. So there's still quite a bit of liquid, but so I sprayed the pan with some non-stick spray, and then I'm just gonna dump all those vegetables that we sauteed in the bottom. And then the voila point is...
So right here, we're going to mix that in there?
Yeah.
You pour that in there.
All right. We're just going to pour the egg, cheese, and seasoning mixture over the top and just kind of spread it around evenly as we can.
Yeah. And now at this point, you want to make sure, because you have raw eggs, that you
cook it all the way through.
Right.
Yeah. And in my experience making this dish, as long as you do the 375 for 20 minutes and then you do the 5 minutes afterwards, you should be good to go. I think several of the recipes we've had recently have called, like casserole recipes, have called for you to put aluminum foil over the top. And so this one is one of those ones that does that just because they're trying to get you to not burn the cheese on top and to cook it all the way through first.
Right.
So this is going to tell us to put it in for 20 minutes covered with foil, and then it's going to ask us to take the foil off and cook it for an additional 5 minutes to kind of brown the top.
Yeah, cook with foil and bake for 20 minutes. That's what it says. And then remove...
I've got it memorized.
Yes. Remove foil and bake an additional 5 minutes to brown it up.
All right. So we're just going to put this in the oven on the center rack. If you have a convection setting, this is a good one to use for convection. Convection setting usually has all the hot air, it's blown in from the back, so it covers the entire oven, whereas your bake setting is just going to be the coils on the top and the bottom. So it's just a little bit different bake, and this bakes a little more evenly if you have a convection setting. So again, I've done the magic oven.
Yes.
So we didn't have to wait.
Out of the way.
And
we'll put that here. So we're going to get to see the real deal.
Yeah.
All done.
That's right.
With all of our stuff here. See what it looks like. Maybe get to take a sample and see what it tastes like.
That's right. So, ta-da!
Good job. That looks really good.
It does look good. So I think it's been out of the oven for a couple minutes. So hopefully you can see that on TV. It's got a little bit brown on the top. That's from the extra 5 minutes. It looks good. It smells good. And we can taste it out if you'd like.
Sure. Do you want to try a piece?
Yeah. And if you'll hand me that little spatula there, or turner.
There you go.
I'll dish this out for us.
Put there for you.
And of course, everybody in the office loves when Gary comes because they get to try some new foods as well. All right. Ta-da.
Yes, very nice. And there you go.
So this is another one that you could probably eat for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. It's got eggs, and so it's another diverse dish. The last one we had, the crepe puff pancake, was the same way. So you can decide when you want to eat it, but
it's good. Smells good too. And it has cheese in it. It's
very
good. Absolutely.
I'm acting like I've never tried it before. I absolutely have. It's very good.
It's tasty.
It is. And
good job.
Yeah. You can add whatever sauce on top. I'm a big spicy food eater, so I like to add a little hot sauce or sriracha sauce just to spice it up a little bit. But you don't have to. It's good just the way that it is.
Either way works. And that's the Summer Garden Pie, which is our July recipe for the Food and Nutrition Calendar for 2020. We're on the second half of the year.
Yep. We've turned the corner.
Yes.
So
Here, many are ready to be done with. But we've had this summer garden pie, and if you want the recipe, you can contact the extension offices throughout Central Kentucky, or go on to Channel 6 TV's website. You can watch some of the videos in the past ones as well, or on to the Nelson County Extension website, or either of our Facebook pages as well.
Absolutely.
And take part, join us, and then we'll get ready for what's coming up later.
August, yeah. We're going to do Shrimp Burrito Bowl next month. I did want to mention real quick before we sign off, I know we're running low on time, but the cost per recipe, yeah, eat as much as you want. The cost per recipe was the thing that really caught my eye. It's about $6 per recipe. So it serves 6, which we did about a sixth for each serving, me and Gary there. So that's going to be 210 calories, so it's low in calories. It's a little high in saturated fat, but some saturated fat is good as long as you can balance it out maybe later in the day. But $5.85 per recipe, 98 cents per serving. Like that's a pretty good balanced meal for 98 cents. So
and it's healthy, and you can go to the farmers market and help support our local farmers as well.
Absolutely.
Which would be great.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. This has been Gary White with Luke Reese at the Nelson County Extension Office.